marked them for centuries. We also wish to acknowledge that we are situated on Treaty 29 and Treaty 25 territories signed by Chippewa chiefs and offer our respect and gratitude for these lands. Go to number 5 on the agenda if we could. That's councillor commitment dates. Does anybody have anything for commitment dates they'd like to add? Deputy Mayor.
October 6th to the 10th, I'm away. And November 4th to the 11th, I'm away.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Kallenberg. Anybody else who wishes to add to the list? Seeing none, move on. We're going to go to councillors' items. Does anybody have anything? I'll go around the room and make sure everybody has an opportunity. Jerry, do you have anything for councillor items today?
I don't.
Wayne, do you have anything?
No, I have nothing either. Thanks.
John, do you have anything?
No, I have nothing at this time.
Very good. I have a couple of things, but I'll wait to the next meeting and we'll discuss them at that particular time. So now it's time to actually listen to our presenters. So I'm going to welcome Aidan Grove White, Marco Piccini. I'm sorry, I probably pronounced that name wrong. Jordan Daniels for Strategy Corp, and they're here to make the presentation of our strategic plan. Gentlemen, welcome, and the floor is yours.
Hello, Mayor, Council, and staff. Just confirming everyone can hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Excellent. Great. All right, so we're really excited to be here virtually with you today to ultimately present to you our recommended strategic plan for Warwick. As you know, we've been working with you and your staff and the community for several months now, preparing a plan for this term of council to advance some of those priorities that all of you were elected to move and to work with staff to help develop a plan that is both ambitious and doable to get there in the time that we have in this term. I've got with me, as you said, Jordan Daniels, and I might mispronounce it now, but Marco Bianchi is what I normally say. I'm not sure if he's going to tell me I got it wrong. But they're going to lead the presentation. Jordan first will take us through the process that we undertook with you and the community and staff. And then Marco will walk through the proposed recommended strategic plan. And I'm hoping we'll have some time for discussion at the end and answer any questions and flesh out any of the details that you and council see fit. So I'll turn it over to my colleagues to introduce themselves now and then have Jordan get the ball rolling.
Great, thanks. Yeah, like Aidan said, I'm Jordan. I'm sorry, there's just a funny noise coming from my speakers. I'm an associate consultant here at Strategy Corp in our land development practice. And yeah, I've met all members of council as part of this process and looking forward to presenting our final product today. Marco?
Jordan, thanks, Aidan. Yes, Marco Bianchi. That's how you say it. Thanks, guys. And I am a manager with the land use and infrastructure here at Strategy Corp, and I will be, as Aidan mentioned, presenting the overview of the strategic plan in the second half of the presentation today.
All right, so I will take it from there. I'm going to share presentation. Screen. Yeah, okay. So again, thank you and good afternoon, Council. This is our presentation of the 2023 to 2026 strategic plan for the Township of Warwick. So like we said, first I'm going to bring you through the background of how we developed the strategic plan, the process, and some key insights from that planning process. And then I'll hand it over to Marco for exploring more of the vision and mission of the strategic plan, the strategic pillars that we've pulled out from our engagement, the implementation plan of the strategic plan, and the balanced scorecard. There's also an appendix to this presentation for future reference of our findings. So as it says in the Ontario Municipal Councillor's Guide, if a municipality doesn't know where it is going, how can it be sure that both council and staff are all going in the same direction? And I think this really sets the stage for why we do strategic planning and also what a strategic plan is. A strategic plan is an overarching plan for the organization of the township, which will guide the council decision-making and priority setting over its lifespan of the plan. And it informs departmental work plans and their budgets. It provides staff with a clear sense of how their day-to-day work relates to the organization's overall strategic direction. It builds unity and alignment within the organization by participating in the plan's creation. And it communicates township priorities outward to the community. In our approach to strategic planning, when we find content to go into the plan, we want to make sure that it contributes to a plan that is strategic, not just an operational plan, an authentic plan that is made by and for the township of Warwick. We want to be contributing to a plan that will be implementable, one that does not just sit on the shelf unused. We want it to be a plan that has directionality and actionable specifics. We want to know where we're going with this plan. And we want a plan that has the confidence of the key stakeholders that participated in making it. And the process by which the content is selected and validated includes input and back and forth processes with council, staff, and the community. From a high level, the process that we went through to create the strategic plan began with agenda setting and strategy sketching in partnership with both council and staff. So we were getting priorities from council members and from staff members. And then the next step was to develop and articulate that agenda in the strategic plan and priorities. We do this most closely with staff as they're on the ground doing these actions. But this is intricately linked to the approval process as well with council. So we approve what we develop back and forth with council. And that's why we're here today, to approve the final recommended strategic plan. And the implementation phase is really in the court of staff, who move on the actions to make progress toward the strategic goals that we've articulated later in this plan. The final stage is monitoring and reviewing. So this is where council and staff work collaboratively in the future to report on progress of the strategic plan, and then also to suggest pivots or alterations based on the current conditions, as we know that they change every year. So some more detail on the process. For the last several months, we've engaged council, township staff, and community members to build a plan that's reflective of and responsive to the needs and aspirations of the township of Warwick. So this begins with the mobilization to gather information. This includes things like reading all your plans and strategies that you have at the township and the previous strategic plan. And it also includes outreach and engagement with the mayor, council, and staff. And residents. And so this included 12 interviews with mayor, council, and staff, workshops with mayor, council, and senior management teams, an open house with invited residents, and 63 responses from residents of the township. So once we have this data from our engagements, we take the data and we analyze it for priorities, strategic goals, and items that can be, again, content that can be added to the strategic plan. And this feeds into the development process of building the strategic plan, including going back to the outreach and analysis phases as necessary, depending on re-engagement with mayor, council, and staff. And then we, as a final step, we refine and finalize the strategic plan based on engagement with council and staff. And then this will be renewed every 4 years as you move forward. So finally, I wanted to highlight a few key insights from the strategic planning process. First and foremost, this is the first thing almost everyone mentioned, was that the community is incredibly connected and engaged. There are several well-staffed volunteer organizations and within the township, and residents are very willing to volunteer their time with these organizations. This is a key strength. Another understanding that the township had was seeing itself as a steward of the shared natural environment that we all enjoy, and particularly striking a delicate balance between development and conservation. This was a key priority for encouraging and ensuring sustainable growth into the future for the township. The long-term fiscal sustainability of the township was front of mind for a lot of people that we consulted. And particularly, they identified a need to find new and innovative supplements to the long-term financial plans that are already being implemented and that are already working in Warwick. Similar to the rest of Ontario, it was identified that the township is experiencing the effects of a housing crisis. And although Warwick is definitely more affordable than other areas of the province, like the GTA, housing is clearly becoming less accessible and affordable for people in the township. The township, as it moves forward with this plan, needs to identify and define what its role can be to support the creation of a diverse range of housing types. The township recognizes that one of its key roles is to drive economic development. In particular, not just not just attracting businesses, but to incentivize a retention and expansion of existing businesses as part of economic development. Many of the goals that we talked about with the mayor, council, staff, and residents would be best accomplished through strategic intergovernmental partnerships. And it was a key strength that we found that several township representatives already have connections to neighboring governments or senior levels of government, that could be leveraged to achieve positive outcomes and to make progress on the goals that we've identified later in this presentation. Overall, the municipal administration is on the right track. There should be organizational focus as we move forward on continually improving, building internal staff capacity, and creating a culture of innovation internally and collaboration for service delivery, which achieves meaningful outcomes and benefits for the community while balancing a reasonable cost for those outcomes. So that concludes my portion of the presentation. I'm going to hand it over to Marco for a bit more detail on the plan itself. Go ahead.
So what I'll be going through is an overview of the vision, mission, and values / the strategic pillars that council, staff, and ourselves have worked together to develop. I will not be going through the strategic plan document line by line, although you have been provided with a copy of the final version for your review. And we're happy to take any questions on that as well at the end of the presentation. But Jordan, if you just want to move through to the next slide. So vision and mission. So this is how we started out on our strategic planning process. We wanted to work with council to help you define your vision and your mission. And then what we do is we take this vision and mission, we develop our values, and then we break that out into the types of actions, objectives, and goals that we want to accomplish over the term of this council. The vision that Warwick settled on here is that the Township of Warwick is an empowering community that provides residents with the services and amenities they need while providing abundant opportunities for growth. It's a wide-ranging statement, one that says to the residents of Warwick that we are here to meet your needs. The mission being that the Township of Warwick fosters responsible financial and environmental stewardship as the foundation of a vibrant community, meeting the needs of residents of all ages and abilities today and into the future. And this is following up on that vision with a commitment to working with and for the residents of Warwick to take the steps and do what is needed to ensure that Warwick remains that steward of the public good. And we can go to the next slide. So out of that vision and out of that mission, we have our values, or our 6 strategic pillars. And this is where we get a little more specific and a little more focused on what our approach is going to be over the next 3 years, or I should say until 2026. That is that these values are the ones that guide all of the decisions and actions that we will be making over this term of council. This includes facilitating economic development by attracting, retaining, and expanding competitive business opportunities. It is through strong communications, which is the fostering of strong ties of communication from the township to the community. It is through strategic intergovernmental relationships, and this is cultivating connectivity with other governments, including First Nations, neighboring municipalities, Lambton County, Province of Ontario, and the Government of Canada. Through improving and sustaining infrastructure, this is by encouraging resilient built forms through strategic investment and land acquisition. Responsible financial stewardship, which is ensuring the long-term fiscal sustainability of the township. And environmental stewardship, which is advocating for the responsible management of our shared natural resources. So in your strategic plan document itself, these 6 pillars define the objectives and goals and the actions that will be taken to accomplish your vision and mission by 2026. If you just go to the next slide, Jordan. And a key part of the strategic plan, of course, is how we implement that strategic plan. And what you'll see on the page or on the deck, slide deck here is image that shows how the strategic plan and the vision and mission is connected to the key operational documents, both of the township and the budget and departmental plans that township staff will develop. This image is included within the strategic plan itself, and it shows how the vision and mission are the guiding statements. They show what the future is, where we're trying to bring Warwick to be. And then toward the bottom, you see the more operational pieces, the multi-year council approved budgets, the 4-year strategic plan, which is what we're talking about today, and then the individual departmental plans that we reviewed as a part of this strategic planning process itself. And then underneath all of that, you have the strategic plan creating that strong base for the township to work toward accomplishing the vision and mission of the document itself. So implementation planning is key to a successful and meaningful strategic plan. And the strategic plan will recommend a set of objectives and actions for each strategic goal, all of which can be revised over time. And I guess the key point there is just to remind you that this remains a living document. It's one that, as the township experiences growth, as it experiences a change in the needs and desires of the residents who live there, there may be opportunities where you will need to pivot, but it's written in such a way that it provides the township with the ability to pivot, to make new decisions, to make new funding allocations to ensure that the residents' needs are being met along the way. So several arrangements will support accountability to the plan itself. This includes annual monitoring, evaluation, and reporting on the progress and outcomes against the goals in the plan. It will include communication of progress and successes internally and externally, and it will include reviewing and updating the plan to reflect the shifting priorities and realities. If you just go to the next slide, Jordan. And so what I've included here is a snapshot of the balanced scorecard to support Warwick through the next few years as you endeavor to implement the actions, goals, and strategic pillars as outlined in the strategic plan. And it lists all of again, this is just a snapshot. It doesn't have all of your actions and goals there. But you'll note that there are 3 columns in the middle, all of which help with setting prioritization. That is determining the timing that may be required for each action to be accomplished, the outlay of funding or the costing, and that's done on a $1 sign, $2 sign, $3 sign basis, with $3 signs being the more expensive of the options that are on the table. And then the staff resourcing piece as well, which would suggest how much staff time and resources would be required to be put toward the implementation of the actions themselves. So taken all together, this provides the Township of Warwick with the necessary information to help prioritize and determine how they want to proceed with the implementation of the strategic plan. And then lastly, on the right side, you will see that there is a status box to help track how that is moving along. And then any other comments or information related to how the development of those action plan is going, you can add to the update summary. And so that is the overview of the 2023 to 2026 strategic plan. And I think at this point, we are okay to open the floor to questions if it pleases council and the mayor.
Thank you very much for your presentation. Does anybody on council have any questions to this point of the presentation? I'm seeing none. Gentlemen, carry on.
Would you like us to go through in more detail the strategic plan, proposed strategic plan?
Well, I know you've provided the information. Is there anything else, Aidan, that you'd like to touch on before we are wrapped up on this?
No, we just wanted to see if there were any additional questions or any other thoughts you had, any potential revisions that council wanted to see in what you've seen so far.
Again, I'll ask council. Does anybody have any questions or comments on the plan? Staff, any questions or comments on the plan? Yes, Councillor Morris.
Aidan, are you going to come up with the survey for the local businesses, or are we going to do that in-house?
Through you, Mayor, I believe that is to be done through your staff.
Okay, anybody else have any questions? Okay, well, thank you very much for your presentation. As everybody knows, this is obviously the process where we consult with the public, consult with staff, consult with council. And at the end of the day, it is sort of an arm's length approach to what the actual content is at the end of the day, after all of these meetings and discussions take place. So we thank you very much for all your efforts, and I guess we'll move forward. So thank you very much, gentlemen. Unless Amanda, did you have anything else you'd like to add?
Just proceed from the.
So is council comfortable to adopt this at this point in time, or do you want to wait to the next meeting? What's council's wishes on this moving forward?
I'd like to read through it one more time.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Is everybody okay with that? We'll sit on it till maybe the next meeting, and then we can have that discussion. Very good. Okay. Well, thank you very much, Aidan and team. We appreciate all your efforts, and we'll get back to you in the near future. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Is there any new business for today, council? Seeing none. We'll go to bylaws then if we could, please. Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Mayor Case. The resolution today, we just have one bylaw, that bylaw 94 of 2023 be read a first, second, and third time and finally passed.
Do I have a mover to that bylaw? Councillor Morris, seconded by Councillor Westgate. All in favor? That's carried. One more motion to adjourn. I would like to do the honor. Deputy Mayor Kallenberg, almost as always, seconded by Councillor Morris. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you very much.